Hey, I'm Marcos, and I wanted to show you some percussive techniques on the electric guitar. I'm using an Aristides H06 with Fishman Fluence Tosin Abasi pickups. I'm also going through an Axe-FX3 for all of my amp sounds. So similarly to a piano, a guitar is something that combines melodic and percussive elements to make sounds. There's a lot of different ways that we use percussive sounds, from tapping to plucking to all sorts of things. But today I wanted to focus on some elements that are a bit more on the percussive side than the melodic side. One of those things is slapping, which is the effect of kind of sounding more like a drum than an actual guitar or something. Slapping is a bit more applicable on the bass guitar, but it sounds really, really cool in some contexts on the electric guitar. So to start with slapping, let's talk about the actual slap, which is usually done with the thumb. And so what you're gonna do is take your thumb, and you're gonna come over here, just above the pickup, where the string has the most buoyancy. So with the thumb, what you want to do is focus on this area here, which is going to have a bone sticks out. With this bone, you're going to want to bounce off of the string and actually do the slapping motion. I'll show you what that looks like now. So to complete our slap guitar trajectory, we just need to add a couple more ingredients. Alongside the slap, we're going to do something called a mute. And so a mute is when we bring down our other fingers on the left hand, or the right hand if you're left-handed, and make a muting sound. When we do this right next to our slap, we get something that kind of sounds like a drum. So similarly to a drummer going right, left, or something, we're doing the same thing on the guitar. Lastly, for some effect, we can do a pluck, which can be done with our index or our middle fingers. This is kind of a bit of what a pluck will sound like. And here's the pluck with all the other things. So these are the basics of slap guitar, and there can be a lot of ways to implement this. First of all, making sure that the slap is good is very important. As an example, we can use an old classic on the bass guitar, John the Fisherman by Primus. Now, usually this line is actually played with the fingers, but I've redone it a bit so we can do it with the slapping technique. The slapping is really important, so make sure to get this line down first before you go on. So now let's try a line where we can implement all the different ingredients of slap guitar into one example. So I'll demonstrate this example now. If you want some sheet music or some further clarification, the links will be down below. So since slapping has been around, there have been some new innovations to adding percussive techniques to the bass guitar and by extension the electric guitar. One of those things that have really taken off is thumping, which is the act of going down the string and through, kind of using the thumb like a guitar pick. Again, this is originally a bass guitar technique, but it really sounds cool on the electric guitar. To get the thump, we need to start with having our fingers in the hitchhike position. So that's with the thumb completely up and the hand kind of like this, kind of like you're trying to hitch a ride or something. In this position, we can take our thumb and then kind of set it up as if we were going to pick. Not exactly this way, but not exactly this way either. A bit of a 45-degree angle. So what we're going to try to do is, instead of slapping, where we bounce off the string, we're going to go through the string. And how we're going to do that is using this little area right here, where the thumb meets the nail. So going through the string is really important at that 45-degree angle. And one of the motions that has helped me the most with this technique is pretending like you're opening a doorknob. So twisting the wrist just like this, with this thumb in position, you're going to get that thumping sound. Let me show you how to go through the string, and then we'll come back through the other way. Once we get that motion down, we're going to try to go the other way. Remember to practice slowly, because it'll be very important later when we speed things up. Now when we go the other way, we're just going to do the same motion but in the opposite direction, where we're turning that doorknob. Using the string next to us, we can actually sort of use it a bit as a rebound area so that we don't go through the string and completely go off the guitar. Watch one more time as I do it. Once we get this motion down, we can start combining with other aspects that we've talked about, like muting and hammer-ons. So let's try something with hammer-ons, for instance. This can be a really good exercise for getting our thumping down. So first we're going to hammer on the 2nd fret of the A string here. Then we're going to hammer on with the ring finger on the 4th fret of the A string. Once we get those 2 beats down, we're going to go up and down on the A string with our thumping motion. And a little bit faster. This introduces a really nice percussive texture to what we're playing, and it's something that we can apply to lots of different areas of the guitar. Let's try doing something with thumping where it's going to sound a bit more like a drum, kind of like with the slapping stuff that we were doing earlier. So first what you're going to do is with your index finger, mute one area of your guitar. You don't really want to hit any harmonics. So try to do this in an area where harmonics are not present. Let's try over here just above the 4th fret. What you're going to do is start with that double thump motion that we tried earlier. And then we're going to introduce that muting technique that we tried. The only difference this time is we're going to split up our fingers. And so this can be a little bit tricky to get down, but when you do, it's going to sound really cool. The first thing we're going to do is slam down our middle finger, kind of like a drum. We're going to do the same thing with our ring finger, and you're going to do it one after the other, just like this. Combined with our double thump, we're going to get 4 strokes here that are going to sound exactly like a drum roll. When we speed it up, it's going to sound really, really cool. These are just a couple of percussive techniques that we can do on the electric guitar. I urge you to explore this area on your own and come up with your own combinations. If you'd like to learn more with Fishman, the links are down below. I've also done a bonus lesson on percussive techniques that you can check out, along with my band and other musical stuff that I've been doing.